let's record real quick so we can throw this up there. So this will be up on the SFIL YouTube later today if you want to go back and check it out. But again, we'll just go over everything that's due one more time real quick because Progress Report 3 coming out this week on Wednesday. So I need everything by tonight, all right, 11:59, for it to be counted on there. So I'm going to go over the most recent stuff that's due, and then we'll recap checkpoints 1 and 2 again real quick, and then give everybody time to um, knock that stuff out. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, so most recent stuff, we're going to start with checkpoint 3, which, Faye, I know you said you um, were kind of already getting ready to get started. And so, Darian, if you haven't been with us as regularly, this may not look super familiar, but like I said, that's why we're going to go over it again one more time today. So, two things to do for checkpoint 3. The first one is scroll down to the resources where you see art proposal brainstorm, like this. And you click that, it's going to look like this. And then what you're doing here is filling out each of these boxes, answering the prompt on the other side right here. Okay. Um, Again, pretty self-explanatory. Excuse me. Pretty self-explanatory. When you get to this part in the middle about figurative language, you'll have to know what each of these types of figurative language is, right? There are class recordings on the Yes Philly YouTube from last week where we go over each one of these and I provide an example. So if you're stumped on this part, you can check that out and use that video to help you. Okay. And then you're ranking these 0 to 5. How much do you enjoy watching each of these types of art? And then how much do you enjoy doing each of these types of art, 0 to 5. And then filling out these boxes here as well, answering this question. Okay. And that's the brainstorm, which will help you then be able to come back and do the actual checkpoint right here, art piece proposal, which looks like this. And what you're doing on the art piece proposal is essentially taking what you did in the brainstorm and using it to fill out these 3 boxes. In the first box, you're telling me, what's your message about love? So in the art piece that you're going to create for your final product, right? What are you going to say about love? What's your theme going to be? What are the thoughts and feelings about love you're going to try to convey through this art piece? Just like the authors of the short stories we read conveyed their thoughts and feelings about love through their writing, you're going to do the same thing. So tell me what that message you're going to try to convey is going to be. What are you going to say? Right. And then in the second box, how are you going to do it? Right. What art form are you going to use? Like, is it going to be a dance like these ones? Is it going to be a song like some of these? Could be a rap. All right. Is it going to be a drawing or a painting? Okay. Is it going to be a poem like all of these? Okay. Um, might you maybe make like a short little movie or a skit? Okay. Whatever you want to do. And you can use this resource if you want to kind of jumpstart some ideas. You can find it on Summit. It's right here. It says examples of art about love. Right. So don't forget that that is there to help you out if you need it. Right? So that's what you're telling me in the second box. What art form are you going to use, and what types of figurative language do you think might work best? A metaphor, all right, a hyperbole. What's going to help you out the most? Okay. And then lastly, sketch or outline your art piece. Now, I know it's tough to sketch on Summit, right? So if you want to outline it here, that's fine. So what you're doing here is just kind of giving me a basic rundown of what your art piece is going to look like. So if you're going to write a poem, just kind of outline it and tell me this is what my poem is going to be about. These are, the types of language, or figurative language I'm going to use, right? This is how long it's going to be, like that. If you're going to do like a drawing, then you can kind of outline that and say, this is what I'm going to draw. This is what, it's going to represent, right? Just kind of basic bullet points here, detailing what your art piece is going to be. All right. And that's what you're going to do here. And then when you have all three of these boxes filled in, you can request feedback, and then you are done with checkpoint 3. Okay. Oh, excuse me again. Questions about checkpoint 3 so far? Anything that you're doing for that? Darian, does that make sense? I know you were a little unsure about what to do on the checkpoints when we started, so everybody's good. All right, cool. So that is checkpoint 3, and again, if you're behind on stuff, that's the one I'd recommend starting with first, because it doesn't take as long to complete. It's the most recent checkpoint, and then you'll be caught up with what we're doing now, and you can also still have time to go back and catch up on the other ones, right? Rather than trying to catch up on checkpoints 1 and 2 and then not be done with checkpoint 3 and then still be behind with what we're continuing to do in class now. So that would be my recommendation, is getting that one caught up first if you are behind on stuff. Okay. Then, speaking of, if you are behind on stuff, real quick, just another rundown of checkpoints 1 and 2. They, again, are both on Summit. All right. These obviously require you to read the short story that goes along with them, which you can also find on Summit under each checkpoint. If you scroll down, here's the one for the first one, Gift to the Magi text right here, right? Oh man, sorry, I am yawning way too much today. And then number 2, right? My Life with the Wave text, also right there. So both located in Summit. And checkpoint 1, right? You got 2 distinct things you're doing here. Filling out this chart, telling me what each of these symbols from the story means, right? And then filling in these blanks, all right, based on the problems presented from the story right here. So what's Della's solution to this problem? What's Jim's solution to this problem? Now what's the new problem they have? What's their new solution? Okay. That's what you're doing for checkpoint 1, right? Checkpoint 2, very similar, kind of 2 tasks you're completing based on the story. The first part, you're matching, right, these terms with the definitions up here. Some of these might have gotten reformatted on Summit. So if yours looks like this, all right, just remember that, right, you're matching it with, what's above the line. In other words, this line would be for Octavio Paz. This line would be for the stuff right here. Okay. So if yours on Summit, looks like that and not like mine does, that's what you want to remember. Just quick heads up, because I know a couple people got tripped up on that. All right. So first part, you're just matching these, put the letter on the line. Second part, just answering these open-ended questions, all of which we talked about in class. And for checkpoints 1 and 2, there again are a few class recordings on YouTube where I go over the story, go over how to do some of the checkpoint, provide examples. So I would use those to help you with checkpoints 1 and 2 as well. I would start there if you're trying to get caught up with these, because they have a lot of, if not all of the information that you need. Okay. And then if you're still stuck after you watch those class recordings on YouTube, trying to do the checkpoints, you can chat with me. You can come see me in the Summit Lab. We can do a breakout room, whatever you may need. Okay. And that is everything I'm looking for up to this point. All right. That I will be including on the progress report, which is coming out Wednesday. Okay. Questions about anything that's due, about either of those checkpoints? If you have any question at all, now is the time to ask it while we're here and I can answer them. Faye, did that give you a
No,
little?
you gonna have to go on the breakout room or something, because I don't want to not do it. Because I know if I don't do it with you, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, that makes sense, Darian. So we can join a breakout room in a sec here,
All
right?
right, got you.
That's no problem. Faye, does that give you a little bit of a better understanding or idea of what you want to do for the checkpoint? I know you said you were having trouble kind of figuring out what words to use, but you kind of knew what you wanted to do. So did that help at all?
Yeah, I already knew. So I know what I want to do. I wanted to do like some type of story, but in the way of the story, I wanted to have audio and pictures to go with it. Because for me, I can't understand or I won't get something by hearing it. Sometimes I can get a full understanding by looking at it. So I wanted to do the same thing with my
Okay.
type of definition of it. So I was going to like have a video with like of auto of me like talking and saying it, and then like examples like a PowerPoint showing different types of love and how people go about it, showing you movies, showing you TV shows. It was just going to be all in one of my ideas of love.
That's cool. I like that. So then I think just in terms of doing the checkpoint, just type into the checkpoint what you just told me, because that's basically all you're doing in the checkpoint is kind of outlining, this is what I'm going to do for my art piece. So I think you do have the words because you just told them to me. So just type them down into that checkpoint like you just did, and you'll be fine. But I like that. That's really good. That's a really good idea.
Okay.
And Ayana, welcome to you. Good morning. We are just kind of going over everything that's due one last time, Ayana, since the last progress report is coming out this Wednesday. So, and I know I've seen you in the lab once or twice. So if you have any questions about any of the checkpoints, checkpoints 1, 2, or 3, um, let me know now. We can kind of go over them again real quick, or go into a breakout room or whatever you might need. If not, then this time is for you guys to work on whatever you need to work on to be caught up. Caught up would mean you have checkpoints 1, 2, and 3, as well as the art proposal brainstorm for checkpoint 3. You have that all completed. Okay. So I will put all of that in the chat as well for everybody to see. Okay. Checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2. Proposal brainstorm. Which is under checkpoint 3 and checkpoint 3. Cool. So that is everything that is due for the progress report. All right. Any other questions that anybody has? Cool. All right. So